Today is a collaging day. It's 8 a.m. and I'm a little scattered, feeling like I need to get my crap together. And is that not the essence of collage? Video voiceovers, too. Putting the thoughts down and then shifting them into a hopefully cohesive arrangement. Yeah, off the cuff is not my forte. I need a script. Which brings us to the subject I want to talk about here, the love of movies. But it's actually more specific than that, because it ties in with my childhood and my relationship with my brother Al. Yeah, this is going to be one of those reminiscy ones. You've been warned. Al was 15 years older than me. In fact, many of my earliest memories don't include him, since he was serving in the armed forces. Being part of a large family, I did not lack companionship, but I was also a shy kid. So going out to the movies with my oldest brother was a real treat, especially since he was similarly antisocial. He never spoke during a movie and always shelled out for popcorn and soda. I used to love riffling through his issues of Variety, Starlog, Cinefantastique, and, in later years, Entertainment Weekly. Searching out advance word about upcoming releases was a big part of our cinephilia. So the trade magazines were must-haves, as was the old TV program, Siskel and Ebert. We watched every episode, even back when it was called Sneak Previews and At the Movies. Al took me to see many of the classic Disney movies when they used to re-release them in theaters. I particularly recall seeing Disney's Sleeping Beauty at one of the old movie houses in downtown Tacoma. Was it the Temple or was it the Rialto? Both were built in the early 1900s and were neglected architectural beauties during my childhood. In any case, the experience was imprinted so well that, to this day, Sleeping Beauty is my favorite Disney film and my favorite Tchaikovsky piece. Another strong movie memory is Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think I was 13 at the time. You couldn't tell by looking at him, but I knew Al was super stoked to see it, since it was the very first showing in our town. I guess he was what you'd call a cinephile. But being highly introverted, he didn't talk a lot about it. There were plenty of times when, having just watched a movie together, I was curious to hear his thoughts. But as a fellow introvert, I usually refrained from asking. I wondered if he did that on purpose, so that I had to form my own opinion. Once buying and owning movies grew to become a thing, first on VHS and later on DVD, so did my attraction to the more obscure side of cinema. With every paycheck, Al added to his movie collection, which I raided regularly. He made it easy for me by leaving the newest ones stacked neatly where I couldn't miss them. They would range from Hitchcock to Herzog, from Kurosawa to Miyazaki, from the Marx Brothers to the Coen Brothers. It's thanks to my brother Al that I enjoy a broad range of filmic styles and genres. It was the same with music, and it was the same with art. So, yeah, he had a big influence on my tastes. I think it was in the late 1990s when the director's cut of Das Boot had a limited theatrical release. We knew each other's likes and dislikes enough that he said, "Let's go." That was one of the handful of times I'd been to the Grand Cinema in Tacoma. It's an art house theater, and I have fond memories of it. But that was one of those times I'd wished I'd pried a little. I knew that Al had spent much of his time as a Marine working on submarines, and what a perfect opportunity to find out more, right? Wrong, because introversion. In this case, my own. Even though I once asked Al what his favorite song was, "This Must Be the Place" by Talking Heads, I actually never asked what his favorite movie was. I guess I just assumed it was Casablanca. That's not because I make a habit of jumping to wild conclusions. It's because that was the only movie poster on his wall. Although he was never diagnosed for it, the question of whether or not Al had a form of autism, possibly Asperger's, has come up. My knowledge of that condition is sadly lacking, but from my limited understanding, I'd say it's a strong possibility. There are many memories I could hold up to support it, but I'll share only one. I once found Al hiding in the laundry room to avoid interacting with the guy who'd come to fix the heating system. He didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. Which, yeah, is straight out of a comedy, but it also makes me sad. The cinematic experience has changed. I no longer go out to see a movie since there are now so many options on TV. And speaking as a homebody, I'm fine with that, especially since these days I'm likely to fall asleep 30 minutes in. And because we've saved Al's movie collection on a private server. Al died several years ago after battling with cancer, and there are times while watching a new movie when I think, ugh, he would have loved this. In the case of The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, I actually blurted that out loud to an empty room. I'm happy to share this collage spread with you. The voiceover is more personal this time, but it's pretty much what I was thinking when I made the piece. Oh, by the way, Al liked to draw too. Until next time, cherish the memories and stay artsy, my friends.